Hello, welcome to English with Tom. So today we're starting a new series of videos looking at grammar, but also the pronunciation. And today, adverbs of frequency. You can see here many examples. So what are adverbs of frequency? So an adverb of frequency, they tell us how often something happens, how often something used to happen, how often it will happen. Basically, how often or the frequency of things happening. So have a look here. On the left is 0%, on the right, 100%, in the middle, 50-50. Can you match these adverbs of frequency to how often they happen? Pause the video if you need. Okay, so for example, sometimes is, yeah, it's sometimes. Not always, not never, sometimes. In the middle, 50%. How about the others? Can you match the others? Okay, let's check the answers. Okay, so starting on the left, 0%, never, rarely, occasionally, sometimes, often, usually, always. There are other adverbs of frequency, many others. These are just some of the very common ones. So if you hear others, maybe I recommend write this in a notebook, and when you learn new ones, add them to the line. Never, rarely, occasionally, sometimes, often, usually, always. Okay, let's check the grammar. So in a sentence with one verb, the adverb of frequency is usually in the middle. Subject, adverb, verb. For example, Tom usually releases one video a week. Okay. The adverb of frequency usually comes after a be verb. So was, is, are, wasn't, isn't, for example. Tom's videos are, be verb. Tom's videos are always helpful. Okay, in a sentence with two verbs, the adverb of frequency is usually after the helping verb before the main verb. So subject, helping verb, adverb of frequency, main verb. Tom's videos have, helping verb, have. Tom's videos have always helped. Helped is the main verb. Tom's videos have always helped me in the past. In sentences with have to or has to, the adverb of frequency comes after the subject. For example, Tom sometimes has to record, Tom sometimes has to record twice. That's true. When I make a mistake, like this one, I have to stop the video and start again. So Tom sometimes has to record twice. Okay, let's check the pronunciation. So the way we pronounce the adverbs really helps to show how often something happens and adds extra importance to the adverb. So first of all, just repeat after me. Never, never, rarely, rarely, occasionally, occasionally, sometimes, sometimes, often. Sometimes the T is pronounced, sometimes not. Often, often. I say it often, often. Both is okay. Usually, usually, always, always. So let's have a repeat after me. I never miss a new video. I never miss a new video. Also, you can add almost, so like 99% or something. So almost never, I almost never miss a new video. Maybe once or twice, but I almost never miss a new video. I rarely miss a new video. I rarely miss a new video. I occasionally miss a new video. I occasionally miss a new video. Again, to make it more emphasis on the how often something doesn't happen, how rare it is, how occasional it is, you can add very. I very rarely miss a new video. I very occasionally miss a new video. Sometimes. I sometimes miss a new video. I sometimes miss a new video. I often watch at the weekend. I often watch at the weekend. Notice how for each one I'm using my eyes and my head, my gestures. These also are non-verbal cues to show how you feel, to give extra emphasis. I often watch at the weekend. I usually watch on Sunday. I usually watch on Sunday. Okay, so you remember never. What was the one that was nearly never? Yeah, almost. So I always watch on my smartphone. I always watch on my smartphone. I almost always watch on my phone. I almost always watch on my phone. Mistake. Never mind. Okay, pause the video, go back, and just practice those a couple more times, and then we have some practice. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to read out some questions. Pause the video if you need time, and think about your answer. Try to use an adverb of frequency, and try to add some extra stress, some emphasis for good pronunciation. Also the non-verbal cues. Let's try. I will also give my answer. Okay, hello everyone. So, what do you do first when you get home from work or school? Pause the video, have a think. Okay, for me, when I get home from school, I always take off my jacket, and I always put down my bag. Then usually, if my family are at home, I greet my family. Then I often get changed first. Usually, what I do. How about you? What do you do first when you get home from school or work? Okay, number 2. So, what do you usually do at the weekend? What do you usually do at the weekend? Pause the video, have a think. Okay, for me, I almost always hang out with my kids. I almost always hang out with my kids. I sometimes do extra work. I occasionally have to work on Sunday and Saturday, but actually very occasionally. But yeah, but I almost always hang out with my family, my kids. How about you? Okay, number three. Do you ever study English at the weekend? Do you ever study English at the weekend? Pause the video, have a think. Okay, for me, I never study English at the weekend. I don't need to. But actually, I guess making these videos is kind of refreshing the English in my mind. So yeah, okay. I very occasionally study English at the weekend. How about you? Okay. Next, what's the last thing you do before you go to bed? What's the last thing you do before you go to bed? Pause the video, have a think. Okay, for me, the last thing I do, well, I always brush my teeth before I go to bed. I always brush my teeth before I go to bed. Before I go to sleep, I often read a story to my kids. I often read a story to my kids. But yeah, before I go to bed, yeah, I always brush my teeth before I go to bed. How about you? Okay. What is something you rarely do but wish you could do more? Ah, good question. What is something you rarely do but wish you could do more? Pause the video, have a think. Okay, for me, well, the past few years, because of coronavirus, etc., yeah, I rarely travel the past few years anyway. I rarely travel. I wish I could more. Um, but I do sometimes travel around the country where I live. I sometimes travel around the country where I live, and occasionally I have to visit other cities for work or to meet somebody. But yeah, I rarely travel internationally. How about you? Great. Okay. Uh, so my advice is when you're studying grammar, always think about the pronunciation too. It adds a bit of makes it more interesting. Grammar can is not always exciting for everybody. So think about the pronunciation and then yeah, give it a go. Go back and check it again, practice the pronunciation, and keep watching. There will be more grammar and pronunciation videos in this series coming soon. Okay, guys, thank you. Bye bye.